ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते राधानाथ स्वामी नामने नमः। ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नामने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष निवादि पाश्चात्य करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्री गुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानंद माधवम श्री चैतन्य ईश्वरम। हरि ओम। Hare Krishna. So thank you for joining. Today we are discussing the concluding chapter of the 8th canto. This chapter is chapter number 24 and is entitled Matsya, the Lord's Fish Incarnation. So we are in this beautiful 8th canto which focuses on the topic of Manvantara, incarnations. We have discussed so many. In fact, in our last class, we completed the narration across multiple chapters, the narration of the beautiful pastimes of Lord Vamana, this pastime which happened in this Manvantara. So, after the conclusion of that very beautiful narration of Vamana Avatar, in this chapter, the chapter begins with Parikshit Maharaj being very curious. In Parikshit Maharaj's mind, when he remembers about this Vamana incarnation, and thinks, oh, this incarnation is so amazing that the Lord was so small, he was a dwarf, and from Vamana, the Lord became a Trivikrama. And suddenly in his mind, he realizes, oh, there is one more incarnation of the Lord, where something similar has happened, where the Lord was small, but then he became very big. Huh? So suddenly remembering like that, and that too, that was a little different because here at least it was a human-like form, Vamana Dev, but that particular form was that like a fish. So Parikshit Maharaj asks, huh, Shukadev Goswami, huh, first of all, he says that the Lord, oh, Shukadev Goswami, I understand that the Lord takes so many forms, so many beautiful forms, sometimes human-like form, sometimes animal-like form, and I understand that the Lord is always transcendental. It's not that, not like if we become animals, we are in dull mode of ignorance. God is never affected. His incarnations are always transcendental. But I remember his first incarnation was that of a great fish. Oh, Shukadev Goswami, can you narrate? Huh? so far you have described so many incarnations, but you have not narrated about this fish incarnation. Can you please narrate to me that it is why the Lord took this kind of an incarnation? Generally, fish is not considered a very high species. A person becomes a fish if he is very sinful because fish is very low. So it's quite clear that the Lord should take the incarnation of a fish. Can you please explain to me what was the purpose that the Lord took this kind of an incarnation? And I really like to hear about it because hearing about the Lord in any of his incarnations is so auspicious and is so beneficial for everyone. So please narrate to me. And surely, one more thing he says, generally when the Lord appears, he appears to give pleasure to his devotees. So I'm just curious, whom did he want to give pleasure to in this incarnation as Matsya? So Shukdev Goswami says, yes, sure. This is a very good question that you have asked. I can see that you are now eager to hear about Matsya, having heard about Vamana. So I'll definitely narrate to you. Yes, the Lord indeed takes various incarnations which are all auspicious for everyone. And the general theme of the appearance of the Lord is to protect Dharma. And generally, when protection of Dharma is concerned, the Lord protects the cows, the Brahmanas, the Devatas, the Vaishnavas, the scriptures, the teachings of religion, which guide one towards the real goal of life. All these are very, very important. And the Lord takes incarnations again and again and again to protect them. Paritranaya sadhuna vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma sansthapanarthaya sambhavami. So whatever has been mentioned here, cows, Brahmanas, the Devatas, the Vaishnavas, the Vedas, the principles of religion, these are all very, very essential aspects of human society. If that human society is in good health, good state to facilitate the real purpose of human form of life. If a human society is healthy, then these elements are there. Cows are properly taken care of. The representatives of the Lords, the Devatas, they are honored properly. The Brahmanas and Vaishnavas are honored. The Vedas are honored, and principles of religion are followed. In such a culture, one makes very nice spiritual advancement. And that is why wherever there is imbalance in these principles, especially when there is a decline in these religious principles, the aforementioned principles, yada yada hi dharmasya glani. So when cows are not protected, dharmasya glani. The Vedas are not protected, dharmasya glani. When people are not following religious principles or they are forgetful of the knowledge of spiritual conclusions, dharmasya glani. When Brahmanas and Vaishnavas are not valued or persecuted, dharmasya glani. So the Lord appears again and again. Shukdev Goswami is telling Parikshit Maharaj, yes, what you said is true. He appears again and again for this purpose. And what you said is also true, that the Lord is always transcendent. It is true that no matter what form the Lord takes, He's always the independent transcendental Lord. Just like through space, air passes through. But air doesn't affect the space in any way. The air always remains unaffected by the kind of space, always remains unaffected by, independent of the type of air that flows through. Similarly, it doesn't matter externally what shape and form the Lord takes in terms of his incarnations. The Lord is never touched. His position always remains Trigunatita. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita always that he's never under the control of the modes. Janma karma cha me divyam evam yovetti tatvatah. Yaktva deham punarjanmaneti mameti sorjuna. These people think. In fact, some people say, oh, the laws of karma are so stringent that even when God takes incarnation, if he does something wrong, he's punished. And they start quoting some stories from scripture saying, oh, because Krishna did like this, because Ram did like this, they had to face punishment in the next life. This is all nonsense. Krishna has told very clearly, Namam karmani limpanti namai karma phalesh evam yomam abhijanati karma bhir nasabadhyati. I am never touched by karma. I have no desire to enjoy the fruits of activities. What to speak of me? Anyone who understands this about me is also not affected by karma. That is the glory of the Lord. The Lord never is affected by the modes of nature, independent of the form the Lord takes. Now Shukadev Goswami starts narrating the beauty of this Matsya incarnation. The first thing is that this Matsya incarnation of the Lord is very interesting because Lord appeared in his Matsya form twice. There are a few incarnations which appeared multiple times. If you recollect, when we discussed earlier, I think it was in the third or fourth canto when we discussed about the pastimes of Varahadev, there are two appearances of Varaha. There is the Shveta Varaha, white colored Varaha. There is the Rakta Varaha, red colored Varaha incarnation. They appeared at two different times for slightly different leelas. I'll not go into that now. I don't have time for that. But similarly, Matsya incarnation also appeared twice within this day of Brahma itself. So first, when did the Lord appear first? The first time the Lord appeared as Matsya was at the end of Brahma's day. So when the previous day of Brahma has a day, 1000 Chaturyugas, which is divided into 14 Manvantaras. So when the previous Kalpa ended, there's Brahma's day, Brahma's night, and then again Brahma's day. So before the current Brahma's day began, as Brahma's night was going on, Brahma was sleeping. So during his night, Brahma sleeps. So practically, most of the universe is annihilated. And Lord Brahma is sleeping. So Lord Brahma was sleeping, it is said, as Brahmaji was sleeping, the Vedas emanated from Brahmaji's mouth. And there was a very powerful demon whose name was Hayagriva. The word Hayagriva means Haya means horse, Griva means face, whose face or head is that of a horse. So there is a Hayagriva demon, there is also a Hayagriva incarnation of the Lord. So not to be confused. Right? There's a beautiful song, right? Rama Krishna Hayagriva. Vibhavari Shesha Aloka Pravesha Nidra Chadi Utho Jiva Bolo Hari Hari Mukunda Murari Rama Krishna Hayagriva. This song is sung in Krishna Balram temple in Vrindavan. Vibhavari Shesha song. As the Mangalarti song. So there also the word Hayagriva is used, but that is the form of the Lord. That's a different pastime. It's also similar because it is related to protecting the Vedas, but it's a different pastime. So in this case, Hayagriva was the demon. And this demon Hayagriva, when Lord Brahma was sleeping, he stole the Vedas, which emanated from the mouth of Brahmaji. Now, what exactly that means is very difficult for us to imagine what exactly he did. But looks like he was trying to download all the knowledge from Brahma and steal it. Whatever he was trying to do. It is said at that time, when Supreme Lord Hari realized what Hayagriva was about to do, the Lord assumed the form of a fish and saved the Vedas from being stolen by killing this demon. Now somebody may ask, Why did the Lord have to take the form of a fish to kill a demon? Very interesting, right? Fish. Why fish? Is fish the most interesting form to kill a demon? And Narsinga is so wonderful, right? To kill. So much more dramatic. Why fish? The reason is very simple, because at the time of the night of Brahma, there is an inundation, there is a pralay, where the waters of pralay are occupying most of the planetary systems. So there is practically no land. So water, 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 water. So the Lord took a form of fish in that water. So this pastime happened at the beginning of this kalpa, which means in this kalpa there are 14 manvantaras. The first manvantara is the Swayambhuva Manvantara. At the beginning of the Swayambhuva Manvantara was the first time that Lord Matsya appeared. Then what was the second episode? So this episode is mentioned, the first appearance is mentioned very briefly. Then Shukadev Goswami starts mentioning the more detailed pastime of the second appearance of Matsya, because that appearance of Matsya has happened much more recently. He says, during the Chakshusha Manvantara. Now, which is the Chakshusha Manvantara? We are currently in the Vaivasvat Manvantara, Manvantara number 7. In the Chakshusha Manvantara, which is the 6th Manvantara, the Manvantara just before this, at the end of the Chakshusha Manvantara, just before the Vaivasvat Manvantara began, the Lord took once more the form of Matsya. And what was the context? The context was that the Lord wanted to show his very special mercy to a great devotee king whose name was Satyavrata. Now, this Satyavrata Muni is not the same Satyavrata sage who has written what? Anybody remembers?
Damodara Ashtaka.
Damodara Ashtaka. Correct. In the Padma Puran, Damodara Ashtaka is written by Satyavrata Muni. In the Padma Puran is mentioned. This is not Satyavrata Muni, this is Satyavrata king. So at the end of the Chakshusha Manvantara, the Lord showed his very special favor to this great king who was performing severe austerities, practically only drinking water just to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Shukadev Goswami mentions to Parikshit Maharaj, just to let you know, Parikshit Maharaj, that the Vaivasvat Manu, the current Manu, the son of Vivasvat Manu, whose actual name, given name by his father Vivasvan, the son of Vivasvan is the Surya Dev, his son Vaivasvata Manu, whose actual name is Shraddha Deva. In his previous life, this Vaivasvat Manu was Maharaj Satyavrata. So the current Manu is Vaivasvat Manu. The current Manu in his previous life was Maharaj Satyavrata. Very interesting. Then he starts narrating the pastime in detail. So he says at the beginning of the towards the end of the Chakshusha Manvantara, and before this current Manvantara started, this great king Satyavrata was a very great devotee of the Lord. He was performing some austerities. He would barely drink some little water and always be worshipping the Lord. He was taking his bath on the bank of river Kritamala. And as he was doing his austerities, he was taking some water and offering it, to the river. That is a very common ritual, right? When we go to the Ganges also, we take water. We offer it back to the Ganges. Your water, I offer it back to you. What can I offer? So as he took in his Anjali, in his palms, some water to offer it to Tamala river, he suddenly realized that in the palms of his hand, along with the water, a small fish seemingly accidentally got picked up from the water. And when he saw this, huh, Satyavrat, he was the king of Dravida Desh. So, South Indian. Satyavrat Maharaj. He was the king of Dravida Desh. So when he saw this and he immediately, when he saw that accidentally took out a fish, he immediately threw the water as well as the fish back into the river. And to the king's surprise, when the fish was cast back into the water, very small fish, in a very appealing voice, the fish started speaking to the king. Wow, talking fish. The king was suddenly shocked. Oh, my dear king, oh, protector of the poor, oh, Maharaj, Satyavrat, why you are throwing me back into the water, into this river? There are so many other big fish who will eat me and kill me. I am so afraid of them. I am taking shelter of you. You are the king. If somebody takes shelter of you, you cannot reject shelter. So, what can he do? He's a Kshatriya. Somebody is asking him for shelter. So he said, okay, I'll give you shelter. So what kind of shelter you want? Satyavrat Maharaj had no idea that this particular fish is the Supreme Lord himself. He had no clue. Because he was very surprised that, this is a talking fish. But in the, in different eras, it wasn't totally uncommon to have some very uncommon entities like this. So the king finally agreed, yes, okay, I will give you protection. So what he did is, the king took a jug of water and placed this fish in the jug of water. So as soon as he was put, next day again the king came back. Next day the king saw that the small fish had already grown to a size that it could barely be accommodated in the jug. And the fish was struggling to move in the jug. The king is shocked. Are what kind of a rate of growth this is? One night he has grown so much. I have not even fed him anything yet. And the fish again starts speaking to the king. So, king, very uncomfortable, very small jug. Please help me. I don't like living in this water pot. It's so difficult. Please look for me a bigger reservoir of water. So the king said, okay, okay. You're taking shelter of me, so it is my duty to help you. So he places the fish from the jug into a well. Within one muhurta, barely 90 minutes, within a muhurta, the fish in the well grows to 3 cubits or 3 arms lengths. So 3 arms length fish size is already very congested in a well. And the king is shocked. Just now only I put you into the well and you are now grown into a size that you are not even fitting into a well. And he says, yeah, I'm so uncomfortable. Please find for me a better residence. I have taken shelter of you. I need a more extensive pool of water. Huh? So this goes on happening again and again. So from the jug, the Matsya is put into a well, from the well to a lake, from a lake, finally the Matsya is to a ocean. So when the fish is put finally into the ocean, because there's nothing more bigger than the ocean that where he can be placed, the fish starts speaking to King Satyavrata. And he still complains. He says, oh, I'm still so scared. What should I do? There are bigger fishes than me in the ocean. Don't throw me like this. The king really became bewildered. Are Baba, he has become so big in size. Huh? Who is this fish? So he actually asks this fish, oh my dear sir, clearly you are not an ordinary person. You are growing in size so fast, so rapidly. Of course, he couldn't compare him with Trivikram expansion because Trivikram pastime hadn't happened that time. Trivikram Vamana pastime happened in the Vaivasvata Manvantara. The story happened at the end of Chakshusha. So Vamandev hadn't appeared there. This is so bewildering. Who are you? You are bewildering us. In a short while, from barely an inch, you have grown. Now you are so huge. Huh? You are now hundreds of miles long in size. Hundreds of miles. No river, no lake can accommodate you. You can only be in the big ocean, and this kind of huge fish I've never ever seen or even heard, what to speak of seen. I think you are surely Supreme Personality of God and Narayan Hari. There must be some purpose that you have assumed this form, O Lord. You are always assuming various wonderful forms to show your mercy to all of us, the living entities. So, Lord, now that I have figured out that you are the Supreme Lord, please, I am, O Supreme Enjoyer, O Lord Vishnu, O Creator, Maintainer, and Destroyer of the material world. You are the Lord and Master of surrendered devotees like us. So please let me offer my respectful obeisances to you. And you are always performing wonderful pastimes for the good of all living entities. When you perform pastimes, the pastimes not only are the pastimes directly beneficial for us, but later also just hearing the pastimes is beneficial for all living entities like us. So surely you have assumed this form of a fish for some special purpose. Whatever you do, you have some special purpose. So please, O Lord, explain to me what is the purpose of this incarnation. I am so glad you have chosen me to perform this particular pastime with. Please tell me, you are the friend and well-wisher of all living entities. So, the Lord in the form of Matsya, he accepts his position as the Supreme Lord. And he tells him, okay, now I will tell you why I have taken this incarnation. Sukadeva Goswami says, the Lord actually wanted to enjoy pastimes of being a fish in the water of Pralaya. So the Lord in the material world, when extraordinary things happen, the Lord also wants to take some, do some leela. Correct? So when we feel hot, we feel like, oh, Prabhu, let us go to the swimming pool and do some swimming. Or sometimes we all feel friends will say, oh, let us go to the beach, have a good time. It's so nice. For a long time we haven't gone and swum on the beach. So people in Bombay will go to Juhu Beach and different places. They'll go to the local beach or go to a resort destination, a beach resort destination. But the Lord is not interested in swimming pools or beaches. The Lord wants to enjoy water pastimes. He wants to swim in the water of Pralay. Because that resonates with his unlimited power. So Sukadeva Goswami hints, he says that is why the Lord had appeared. So Matsya Avatar tells Maharaj Satyavrat, he says, I will tell you the secret of why I have appeared. 7 days from now, all the three worlds, Bhu, Bhuva, Swaha, will merge into the water of Pralay. He's shocked. One of the reasons why he's shocked is, it is not actually time for Pralay. This is Chakshusha Manvantar. It is not even the end of the day of Brahma. This is, middle of the day of Brahma. Out of the 14 Manvantaras, 6 Manvantaras are done. So it is like barely early afternoon of the day of Brahma. Arey, and why there is devastation? But anyway, he just keeps quiet. He is listening. The Lord is saying, so definitely there is some special purpose. That Bhuvaswaha is going to be entirely submerged in the water of inundation. That is going to happen in 7 days from now. Matsya is telling Maharaj Satyavrat. When that day comes after 7 days, when the whole universe will be inundated, I mean the Bhuvaswaha will be inundated, I will appear in front of you and I will also dispatch a huge boat to you. My instruction to you, to Maharaj Satyavrata, is meanwhile, for the next 7 days, you collect all kinds of varieties of seeds of various kinds of plants and herbs and you keep it ready so that when the boat comes, you can load all of that onto the boat along with the Sapta Rishis. And also by gathering together all the species of life, various kinds of animals, birds, insects, etc., please get onto that boat. Whoever you gather with you, 7 sages and all the various types of life, plants, animals, birds, etc., they will all survive. Nothing else will survive. Why the 7 sages? I want the 7 sages because the knowledge in the next Manvantara, spiritual knowledge has to continue. The Saptarshis will do that job. And the species of life, whatever you gather, they will be saved from inundation and they can be used in the to revive that particular species in the next Manvantara. When that happens, and when you load that boat, all these species, then one more thing you have to do. I will appear there in the fish form with a big horn on my head, pointed horn. What you need to do is that using the serpent Vasuki as a rope, tie your boat to my horn. And then I will ensure that you, on the boat, along with the Saptarshis and other species of life, I carry with me, I pull your boat on the waters of inundation. And I will continue to do this as long as Lord Brahma is sleeping. And then, when Brahma wakes up, I will end this particular pastime. And don't worry, I will take full care of you. Not only will I take full care of you, Amara Satyavrata, during that time, you and the sages and all the living entities, I am going to show you my special favor. I am going to instruct you in the highest knowledge, which will help you attain the perfection of spiritual consciousness. As soon as Lord Matsya instructed this Maharaj Satyavrat, Lord Matsya disappeared from the sea. Now, the Acharyas give a very interesting explanation because it is indeed clear that midway in the day of Brahma, there is an inundation. When Manvantaras change, there is no inundation of this kind where all the waters, the water inundates Bhuvaswaha. That only happens at the end of a day of Brahma, during the night of Brahma, when Brahma is resting. So the Acharyas give a very interesting explanation. The Acharya says that this was a very special and untimely inundation. So the Acharyas explain that this inundation wasn't at the time of the night of Brahma, rather at the end of the Chakshusha Manvantara. So the Supreme Lord, at the time of the end of the Chakshusha Manvantara, had a desire in his heart that he wanted to show his special favor to his great devotee, Maharaj Satyavrata. And he wanted to show the effects of inundation to Satyavrata firsthand, just like in olden times, the Lord had shown the Mahapralaya to Markandeya Rishi, who was also cast into the waters of Pralaya. So the Lord thought like that, and the Lord was thinking, I want to do this, but right now is not the right time. But for the Lord, whenever the Lord desires, He can make the time suitable. So the Lord can do whatever He wants, whenever He wants. So it is said, even though it was in the middle of the day of Brahma, the Lord created this inundation-like situation to give this kind of an experience to his devotee Satyavrata Muni and to be able to give transcendental knowledge to Satyavrata Muni. Sorry, I'm saying Muni, Satyavrata Maharaj. So it is said when this inundation happened, exactly as predicted, after 7 days, huge rains, and very quickly the whole earth was covered with Bhur all three planetary systems are fully covered with water. It is said when Lord Brahma realized, Arey, it is only my lunchtime now, and the Lord is doing inundation. Okay, I just had my lunch. Maybe while the Lord is doing his inundation pastime, maybe I have a short nap. Because usually when I'm sleeping, the Lord does inundation. But now we will reverse the sequence. The Lord is doing his inundation pastime. Meanwhile, I'll take a quick nap. Anyway, there's nothing for me to sort out. Everything will be destroyed. Rest of inundation. The Lord is directly taking care of Satyavrat Maharaj and the others. So let me take a nap. So the Acharyas explained that is why it is said that it was like the night of Brahma, even though it wasn't the night, because Brahma was sleeping. Not because it was his night, but because there was inundation midday. Very interesting. So it is that short period which is referred to as Brahma's night, as is mentioned in this verse. So after the Lord disappeared, Satyavrata is so glad. I mean, one is so fortunate that the Lord personally appears and instructs. It's such a great good fortune. He was so happy, so excited. He laid down kusha grass pointing towards the north. He sat on it and he was meditating continuously on the Lord, waiting for the 7 days to get over. Heavy rain started on the 7th day, exactly as the Lord had predicted. The oceans began to rise and they were overflowing. The land was going to be totally overrun with water. As this was happening, Satyavrat Maharaj had already gathered everything that the Lord had told him. And he had gone to the 7 great sages and conveyed to them also. They were also all ready. The whole entourage was ready to board this vessel. And exactly as the Lord had explained, suddenly this huge ship appeared on the water before all land got submerged. And Satyavrat Maharaj, along with the sages, carrying the various species of life, boarded onto the boat. The sages told Satya, at that point, immediately the Matsya avatar was not visible. First, the boat became visible and they got onto the boat. And the sages told Satyavat Maharaj, only the Lord can save us from this dangerous situation. Let us all meditate on the Supreme Lord, because only He can grant us our full well-being. As they started meditating and praying to the Lord, the Bhagavatam describes, suddenly the Lord appeared on the scene in the water of inundation as a huge fish. Now, this is not just on the earth, because I'm assuming that by this time, already Bhur Swaha was entirely inundated. It said Matsya appeared. And do you know how big Matsya was when he appeared? The size of the boat is not mentioned though. I'm curious how big the boat was. But the size of Matsya incarnation is said to be a golden colored fish, 8 million miles long. 8 million miles long fish. A long fish, and also on his head of the fish there was a pointed horn like this. So Satyavrat Maharaj remembered, oh, I was supposed to tie my boat to the horn of this fish. So the Vasuki appeared there. Interesting, huh? Vasuki. Vasuki is amongst the Sarpas. He said amongst all the snakes, Vasuki is topmost. Krishna mentions in the Bhagavad Gita. So Vasuki is a very useful device in the useful prop in the Lord's pastimes. The Samudra Manthan also he was used as rope. Vasuki is not considered particularly saintly. Very interesting. I mean, he is the descendant of Kadru. They are not in the category of the Devatas. They are on the other side. Correct? The Devatas are the Adityas, the sons of Aditi, and the other side are the sons of Danu, the sons of Diti, the sons of Kadru. And of course, Vinita and a few others. There are more. But the snakes are descendants of Kadru. They are also considered negative. At least they are not considered devotees. The Daityas are not considered devotees. The Danavas are not considered devotees. They are all considered in the category of Asuras. They are inhabitants of the lower planetary systems. Vasuki also. But amazing that the Lord is arranging Vasuki. Can you imagine? I mean, just imagine the fortune of Vasuki. I mean, this is not mentioned here. I was just thinking of this, so I'm just sharing with you. Just think about this. He was used in Samudra Manthan. He was used in Samudra Manthan. Not just was he used in Samudra Manthan, the Lord in Samudra Manthan, in the form of Lord Ajita, personally held him and pulled him. Imagine he got directly the touch of the Supreme Lord. Wow. Here also, in this particular pastime, he is getting the good fortune of directly being tied to the horn on the head of Matsya avatar. Imagine what kind of good. He must be some very special soul. Sometimes, some very special souls also get born in certain yonis for because of certain karma. God alone knows. I don't know if it is mentioned in the scripture why. What is the antecedent of this Vasuki? Also, Vasuki has another good fortune. Maybe that is the cause of his good fortune. The snake which sits around the neck of Lord Shiva is said to be Vasuki. So that's another good fortune. So anyway, I was just thinking of this, so I'm just sharing. So Vasuki was used on one side, he was tied to the horn of Matsya. Don't ask me how the tying was done. If you're trying to imagine it, I have no clue. If Bhagavatam doesn't mention, I don't know. I cannot imagine how Vasuki will be tied to an 8 million mile long fish. But we have faith. We may not be able to imagine. We have faith that it is definitely true because it is mentioned in the Shastra. So one side tied to the horn of Matsya, the other side tied to the boat. The whole idea was, because the Lord is a fish, he's not going to carry the boat like this. He's saying the boat will float, I will swim. The waters of inundation are going to be so rough. If you have read the pastime of Markandeya Rishi, you will know how tough for Markandeya Rishi. For a kalpa, he was being tossed on the waters of inundation. Absolute harassment for him. If you read that pastime, he was thoroughly harassed. Can you imagine? There's nothing other than water in all directions. Fathomless, endless water. With huge waves. I mean, if you can just imagine the size of the fish itself is 8 million miles. You can imagine what kind of waves will be there. Not a pleasant experience at all. So the Lord said, if you are tied to me, I will stabilize you. So you will not have a miserable time during this pralay period. So after the time was done, Maharaj Satyavrata started offering beautiful prayers to Lord Matsya. The main theme, there are 7-8 verses in which he offers prayers briefly. And this is very interesting because in this particular pastime, one of the reasons the Lord appeared as Matsya was just like when Lord had appeared as Matsya earlier at the beginning of the Swayambhuva Manvantara, Lord Matsya had saved the Vedas by killing Hayagriva. What does saving the Veda mean? Saving the Veda means saving spiritual knowledge. Correct? So in this pastime also the Lord wanted to save spiritual knowledge. How? This is not the beginning of the day of Brahma. So the saving of the Vedas was done so that in the Chakshusha Manvantara spiritual knowledge remains. And the Lord in the form of Matsya wanted to instruct that spiritual knowledge to Satyavrata Maharaj and the Saptarishis by killing the demon of ignorance. So he's going to instruct. So the central idea is still the same. And that knowledge which was instructed by Maharaj to Maharaj Satyavrata is actually captured in the Matsya Purana. Anyway, the theme of the prayers, and the Lord had already hinted to Maharaj Satyavrata earlier that I am going to be instructing you in spiritual knowledge after 7 days when you get on the boat. So Maharaj Satyavrata was also ready in the student mode. Like Arjuna became ready, no? In the student mode. Karpanya dosho pahata svabhava prachami tvam dharma sammuda cheta yashrayasyan nishitam bruhitan me shishyasteham chadimam tvam. I don't know, I am bewildered. Tell me what is best for me. I am your student, your disciple, soul surrendered to you. Please tell me. Yashrayasyan nishitam bruhitan. So Maharaj Satyavrata is preparing himself for the Bhagavatam class. Long Bhagavatam class, you can imagine. Now nothing else to do. There is only ocean everywhere. He's on the boat with the 7 sages. Nothing else to do. So he starts offering his prayers to the Lord by describing the Supreme Lord Matsya as the Supreme Guru. Those who have lost their spiritual knowledge due to ignorance and who are suffering in this ocean of repeated birth and death, O Lord, you are the one who gives transcendental knowledge. You are the original Guru. And I accept you as my Guru and also as the Supreme Guru. Yes, the 7 sages are there. They are also very knowledgeable. They are competent to be my Gurus. But you are the Gurus of the Gurus. So you are the Supreme Guru. So right now, since you are on the scene, it is best that you only instruct us. And who is Guru? Guru is he who destroys ignorance. So there are many definitions of the word Guru. Guru means heavy. Guru means the destroyer of ignorance. Oh Lord, we living entities being bewildered by the 3 modes, being bewildered by fruitive desires. We are continuously taking different forms, different bodies in this material world. Hope against hope, we are trying to find material happiness. But what happens? In return, we only get suffering. Viparita result. Our attempt is for happiness, but we get misery. Why it is happening like that? Because we are covered with ignorance. We don't understand what is it that will actually give us good fortune. But you are appearing as Guru. And for one who has proper knowledge, he knows that if he serves you, then all auspiciousness will come. Because the Supreme Guru can cut the knot of material attachment in the heart of the conditioned soul and liberate him from suffering. So, Lord, please destroy my ignorance. Just like gold, which is in an ore, in a mine, you cannot take out gold directly from the ore. You have to heat, remove the impurities, melt the gold, remove the impurities, and take out gold from the gold ore. Similarly, through the process of devotional service only, we can remove all the contaminations from our heart and extract transcendental knowledge. Then only one's real identity can be established. Please, therefore, you become our Guru. No other process. In an ore of gold, you cannot just pour water and wash with detergent or put in washing machine and gold will come out. No. No process of karma, jnana, yoga can purify the heart. Only the blazing fire of pure devotional service will melt the gold and disassociate all contaminations. And, oh Lord, only you can do this kind of purification. No devatas can do. After all, what are the devatas? They are only your representatives. They are also jivas. They may be powerful jivas, but they are only jivas. How they can liberate us? They are also conditioned. That's why we all want to take shelter of you alone. Those who are intelligent people, like us, who desire self-realization, we accept you as Guru. But foolish people, they accept other materialistic people as their gurus. And just like blind leading the blind, both fall into a ditch of ignorance. So this is the problem. In the material world, sometimes we see people want to accept other so-called successful people as Guru. But both the disciple is in ignorance and suffering, and the so-called Guru is also in ignorance and suffering. Even though he may have attained some success by the Lord's mercy in the material world, even as a Devata, they are also suffering. So how can one suffering person help another suffering person? Only somebody who is fully liberated can help others. Because all these so-called gurus, they can only give material knowledge. And that material knowledge cannot help one to get extricated from material ignorance. One will still continue to be in the cycle of birth and death. But you are the true Guru. You can give knowledge of bhakti by which one can attain Vaikuntha. Oh Lord, that is why the best thing is to surrender to you. Why people are not surrendering to you? You are the Supreme Guru. But people who are foolish and bewildered by Maya, their hearts being disturbed by lusty desires. The heart is disturbed by lusty desires. One takes shelter of devatas or material gurus. But Lord, I am clear. Let others do whatever they want. As far as I am concerned, I accept you as the Supreme Guru. Please instruct us. So, being requested like this by Maharaj Satyavrata, Lord Matsya became very pleased. So, he was creating impetus for the Lord to start his discourse. So it is said, when prompted like that, Lord Matsya started instructing Satyavrat Maharaj and the 7 sages in the knowledge of the absolute truth. Now this Bhagavatam class was happening very interesting way. It is not that the Lord was sitting and then everybody was sitting in front and going, no, the Lord is on the ocean. The attendees of the class are sitting in the boat is going, the Lord is explaining. It is said the Lord was explaining directly. He was not speaking and giving words. He was explaining transcendental knowledge directly in the hearts of Maharaj Satyavrat and the seven sages. It is said Lord Matsya explained various topics. He explained to him about Sankhya Yoga. Sankhya Yoga meaning to distinguish the spirit from matter. He also explained to him about the Puranas, especially what is contained in the Matsya Purana, and also various Samhitas. In this way, the seven sages, along with Satyavrat Maharaj, learned the knowledge of self-realization. So a similar effect, Bhagavatam says, was achieved, just like the Vedas were saved at the beginning of the current Kalpa, where Matsya had appeared at the beginning of this particular Kalpa by killing Hayagriva and returning the Vedas back to Brahma. Similarly, at the end of this particular pastime, for whatever period the Lord was going around the water, Bhagavatam class was going on. And as the water of inundation eventually subsided, Lord Brahma also, who was sleeping, his short nap, he also got up. Okay, Lord's pastime time is over. I have to resume my job. My shift has not yet ended. I have to continue to do my work. He woke up and Maharaj Satyavrat was all fully self-realized, fully motivated, fully equipped with all the knowledge. It is said, and this pastime happened at the end of Chakshusha Manvantara. So when the next Manvantara started, which is the Vaivasvata Manvantara, this same Maharaj Satyavrata was reborn, like what I mentioned earlier, as the son of Surya Dev, Vivasvan. Vaivasvat means son of, Vivasvan is Vaivasvat. Just like the son of Pandu is Pandava, the son of Kunti is Kaunteya. The son of Vivasvan is Vaivasvat. So this son of Vivasvan by the name Shraddha Deva, who is also known as Vaivasvata Manu, he became, because of his elevation in transcendental knowledge, he was made the Manu, the Vaivasvata Manvantara, the current Manvantara. So this is how this pastime concludes. The last three verses of this particular chapter explain the Falashruti. This is a very interesting Falashruti. I became very happy when I heard this Falashruti, because there is blessing both for those who listen and for one who speaks. So hopefully you have heard attentively. One who hears this great transcendental narration of Matsya Avatar is delivered from the reactions of sinful life. Ribo. So if you have heard, you are delivered from the reactions of sinful life. One who narrates about Matsya incarnation will have all one's ambitions fulfilled and will undoubtedly go back to Godhead. Ribo. So I became very happy after I read this. So all desires also fulfilled and also go to, because all of us want that, right? We want all our desires also to be fulfilled and we want back to God. That's our problem. We don't want to go only back to God. We also want our ambitions to be fulfilled. Anyway, that is the Lord's blessings. Of course, that is the ideal situation. The ideal situation is one has a successful, fulfilling life in the material world and also goes back to God. And we'll see in the scriptures generally whenever great devotees have received the favor of the Lord after much struggle, the blessings of the Lord usually include both aspects. Because the devotee is already purified and attained transcendental knowledge, the Lord doesn't see any need to further subject those devotees to tribulation. You live nicely, you have opulence, you rule nicely, you be king, no problem. Because you will not fall into Maya again. Just remain my devotee. He gave to Bali Maharaj the kingdom. He gave to Dhruva the kingdom. He gave to Prahlad the kingdom. To all of them and so many other examples. That you rule, at the end of your rule, you will come back home, back to Godhead. The chapter ends with the verse, Obeisances unto Lord Matsya, who pretended to be a gigantic fish, who restored the Vedic literature to Brahma in his form as the first Matsya and in his form as the second Matsya, who explained the essence of Vedic literature to King Satyavrata and the Saptarishis. Matsyadev Bhagavan ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki. Perfect time. So we have managed to complete this chapter. Any questions, any comments? Yes, Suresh Prabhu.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam. One general question, Prabhu.
Yes, yes.
Shankaracharya, he propagated Mayavadi philosophy,
Hmm.
but he also wrote this Bhajagovindam, right, Prabhu? So he wrote this at the end of his life, or how, Prabhu?
Timing wise, I'm not sure, but the thing is, Shankaracharya himself was never uh, in illusion of the actual conclusion of the Vedas. It is not that he at one point was Mayavadi, at one point he suddenly realized, no, devotional service is greatest law. He is Lord Shiva. He always knows what is the perfect conclusion. He explained the impersonalistic philosophy for a particular purpose because he had come for a particular purpose. So time to time, Shankaracharya through various pastimes has hinted to his followers and to the people in general that no matter what I'm speaking, understand where my heart is. Where is my heart? Bhajagovindam, Bhajagovindam, Bhajagovindam Mudamate, Samprapte Sanhite Kale, Nahi Rakshati Dukrinkal. I may have given so much philosophical analysis, but all this grammar and philosophical analysis is not going to save you at the time of death. Samprapte Sanhite Kale. Even when his mother, so Shankaracharya hinted through his own life multiple times, even when his mother was about to leave her body, he had promised his mother when he took sannyas, right? It's a very interesting pastime of how he left home. I don't have time to go there, but his mother was not giving him permission to take sannyas. I think he was 7 or 8 years old, and finally a crocodile caught his leg, and he was about to die. And he asked his mother, "At least let me die with your blessings to me to become a sannyasi." So she said, "Okay, let him be happy as he's dying. Because anyway, he's going to die." So she blessed him. "Okay, I give you permission." Immediately, the crocodile left him and went. Said, "Mother, you have given me permission now to become sannyasi, so I'm going." So she said, "Yes, it looks like that is the will of the Lord. So, okay, you go, but you have to give me one promise. That when I'm about to die, you must come." So he says, "Yes, I give you my word. No matter where I am in this world, you remember me when you are about to leave the body, I will come." So Shankaracharya actually appeared there at the time of her death. So when she was about to leave her body, he came to her, he started speaking various philosophical, Upanishadic, Brahmavadic concepts. And his mother said, "I don't know what you're talking. Can you please tell me something by which actually I will attain the ultimate benefit for myself?" So at that time, he tells her to meditate on Krishna. So for those who are dearest to him, he instructed them to meditate on the transcendental form of Krishna. There's a pastime like that. So there are many other pastimes also. We don't have time to discuss that, but
So, Prabhu, one thing.
yeah.
So, at that point of time, the theory of oneness is ignoring the theory of oneness and coming to that individual existence as Supreme Lord and individual Lord?
Yeah. But he's not explaining philosophy. He's indirectly indicating what is the highest benefit.
Mm.
He didn't openly come and say that my philosophy is wrong and this is. It is said, I don't know where it is recorded. I have heard this from devotees that just before he left, because he walked into the Himalayas, right, and he took samadhi. He didn't leave his body in the normal, left a body behind. He said he walked into the Himalaya. Just before he left, he addressed all his disciples. I've heard this, I don't know, I can't quote the source, but devotees have told me that it is recorded somewhere that he told all his disciples, his closest disciples, before he left the world. He said, whatever I have told you and taught you up to now is all humbug. I haven't told you the most real thing, which is the ultimate conclusion of the scriptures. And actually, the thing is, I am the greatest proponent of that ultimate truth. And then he, to those who are very dear to him and close to him, he told them privately what is the actual conclusion. It is said like that. One of his very close disciples, I think Padmapad, if I'm not wrong, I recollect his name correctly, he was a great devotee of Lord Narasimha. He had directly the darshan of Lord Narasimha. So, like that. So of course, they know what is what. But sometimes you have to, because you need to teach certain groups a particular understanding based on their level and based on the need of the time, place, circumstance. So even those who are having full knowledge, they may sometimes speak something, but they may know something higher. Correct? Just like, for example, you are teaching your son or daughter when they are very young, according to their level of understanding. Does it mean what you teach is what you know? You don't know anything more than that? Of course not. Yeah. Okay, Prabhu?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Anything
Thank
else?
you, Prabhu.
Okay. So if nothing else, we will end here. Thank you so much. So I will see you on Tuesday. Discuss Chaitanya Chaitanya. So we have completed Canto 8, Haribo, the Manvantara chapter. And we will begin with Canto 9. So we'll speak a little bit about what is covered in Canto 9 in the next class. Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Prabhu.
you. Thank you,
Prabhu.
Sridharji, Suraj,
Thank you, Prabhu.
Sundar Prabhu, Anand Sundari Mataji, Sunji. I do not know who's connecting from Dipsley. So thank you, whoever is connected with that ID.